Welcome to the incredible story of Jacob, also known as Israel, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Found in the book of Genesis chapters 25 through 50, Jacob's life is a journey of faith, struggle, love, betrayal, forgiveness, and God's divine purpose. From his miraculous birth as the twin brother of Esau to becoming the father of a great nation, Jacob's story reveals how God can transform an imperfect man into a vessel of destiny. Join us as we explore the remarkable life of Jacob and discover the lessons that continue to inspire believers around the world today. Long before Jacob was born, his parents desperately wanted children. His father, Isaac, was the son of God's covenant friend Abraham. His mother, Rebekah, had been unable to conceive for many years. Isaac prayed earnestly to God. At last, Rebekah became pregnant. But something unusual happened. The babies inside her womb struggled violently. Confused and frightened, Rebekah asked God what was happening.
The first baby emerged red and covered with hair. They named him Esau. Moments later, another baby appeared. His tiny hand was gripping Esau's heel. They named him Jacob. The name Jacob means heel grabber or supplanter. Even at birth, Jacob seemed determined to hold on and never let go.
As the boys grew older, their differences became obvious. Esau loved adventure. He became a skilled hunter. He spent his days roaming mountains and wilderness. Jacob preferred a quieter life. He stayed near the tents. He learned family traditions. He cared for livestock. He observed and planned. The brothers loved each other, but competition slowly grew between them.
A painful division developed in the family. Isaac loved Esau. He enjoyed the wild game Esau hunted. Rebekah favored Jacob. She spent more time with him. Parental favoritism planted seeds of future conflict. The family was blessed by God, but human weakness was creating trouble. One day, Esau returned from hunting completely exhausted. Jacob was cooking delicious stew. Esau begged for food. Jacob saw an opportunity. "Sell me your birthright first." The birthright belonged to the oldest son. It meant inheritance, leadership, and special family privileges. Esau carelessly agreed. For one meal, he traded away something priceless. Years later, Isaac became old and nearly blind. He decided to give Esau the family blessing. Rebekah overheard. She devised a plan. Jacob disguised himself as Esau. He wore goatskins on his arms. He brought food to Isaac. Isaac hesitated.
"The voice is Jacob's voice."
But eventually he blessed Jacob. Moments later, Esau arrived. The deception was discovered. Esau wept bitterly, his heart filled with anger. He vowed to kill Jacob. Jacob became a fugitive, leaving everything behind. He fled hundreds of miles north toward his uncle Laban's homeland. He was alone, afraid, uncertain. The man who had gained the blessing had lost his home.
God promised, "I am with you. I will never leave you." Jacob awoke overwhelmed. The fugitive now knew God was guiding his future.
Jacob eventually arrived at his uncle Laban's home. There he saw Rachel. She was beautiful, graceful, kind. Jacob instantly fell in love. For Rachel, he willingly agreed to work 7 years. The Bible says those years seemed like only a few days because of his love for her. After 7 years, Jacob expected to marry Rachel, but Laban deceived him. During the wedding celebration, Laban secretly gave Leah, the older sister. The next morning, Jacob was shocked. The deceiver had been deceived. Laban required another 7 years of work for Rachel. Jacob eventually married both sisters. Jacob loved Rachel more deeply. Leah felt unwanted. God saw Leah's pain. Leah began having children. Rachel remained barren for many years. This created heartbreak and rivalry between the sisters. Jacob eventually fathered 12 sons. These sons became the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Their names were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. A daughter named Dinah was also born. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn son. As the eldest, he should have inherited leadership. But Reuben committed a shocking sin. He slept with Bilhah, one of Jacob's concubines. Jacob never forgot. Years later, Jacob declared, "You shall no longer excel." Reuben lost the privileges of the firstborn. Among all his sons, Jacob especially loved Joseph. Joseph was Rachel's firstborn. Jacob gave him a beautiful coat. The special treatment angered his brothers. Joseph also received prophetic dreams. He dreamed his family would one day bow before him. His brothers hated hearing this. Consumed by jealousy, Joseph's brothers stripped off his special robe and threw him into a deep well. Joseph's brothers changed their minds about leaving him in the well. Instead, they pulled him out and sold him to passing traders for 20 pieces of silver. As Joseph was taken away to Egypt as a slave, his brothers believed they had gotten rid of him forever, but God had a greater plan for his life. They dipped his robe in animal blood. Jacob believed Joseph had been killed. For years he mourned. God was with Joseph. Though sold as a slave and imprisoned unjustly, Joseph eventually interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. Pharaoh promoted him. Joseph became ruler over Egypt's food supply. Only Pharaoh ranked higher. A terrible famine struck the world. Food disappeared. People faced starvation. But Egypt had grain because Joseph had prepared wisely. Jacob's family desperately needed help. The brothers traveled to Egypt seeking food. They bowed before Joseph, exactly as Joseph's childhood dream had predicted, but they did not recognize him. Joseph tested their hearts. Had they changed? Were they still jealous and cruel? Finally, Joseph could no longer hide his identity. He cried, "I am Joseph, your brother." The brothers were terrified. But Joseph forgave them. What you meant for evil, God meant for good. One of the greatest moments of forgiveness in history had arrived. Joseph invited the entire family to Egypt. Jacob was overwhelmed. The son he thought was dead was alive. 70 members of Jacob's family moved to Egypt. There they survived the famine. There they prospered. And there they became a great nation. Jacob's life was filled with mistakes. Deception, heartbreak, love, loss, faith, forgiveness and redemption. He stole a blessing. He fled for his life. He was deceived as he had deceived others. He loved deeply. He mourned deeply. He wrestled with God. And through it all, God transformed him. From a heel grabber to Israel. From one man to 12 tribes. From a family to a nation that would change history forever. Jacob's life was filled with mistakes. Deception, heartbreak, love, loss, faith, forgiveness and redemption. He stole a blessing. He fled for his life. He was deceived as he had deceived others. He loved deeply. He mourned deeply. He wrestled with God. And through it all, God transformed him. From a heel grabber to Israel. From one man to 12 tribes. From a family to a nation that would change history forever. And that is the extraordinary story of Jacob, the father of Israel.